Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good afternoon. Good evening, everybody. And good morning to everyone else out there, too. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there and enjoying your day, making it wonderful. Man, I look a mess. You think something's ironed and then it's not. You feel me? But anyway, them are the breaks. Anyway, guys, we got quite an interesting short show for you guys this afternoon. But I hope you guys are all doing well. We got some new information that I did not think was going to come out. Didn't expect anything to come out revolving around Gabby Petito. I figured we'd be sitting and waiting on some information once this trial gets, on and moving and all that. But we have some new information, guys, that could really expose a lot of things. Not only at the surface level of things, okay? This also exposes some other things, which I'm going to get into in a little bit. But some more truth has been revealed, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me, guys. Absolutely mind-blowing. This is breaking as of the past hour, y'all. As of about an hour ago, this image had recently dropped revolving around Gabby Petito. And we can kind of get a better idea of what actually is going down. I know this is a little bit of a left turn for some of you guys. You're sitting there going, oh, wait, what? We talking about Gabby Petito? Yeah, we're talking about Gabby Petito because honestly, her case, her situation, her tragedy has still not been fully justified yet. There is still an ongoing trial going on, an ongoing case right now where the family is the Petito family, okay? The Petito Schmidt family is out here seeking for justice as they rightfully deserve. I don't think Gabby Petito is, in my personal opinion, is fully resting in peace until the full truth is exposed, until we actually really know the truth on everything. There's been so many other pieces to this story that have been revealed over the past couple weeks. We've been busy with the Idaho 4 and all that. I might tap in on that in this very, very short, brief breaking news segment today. But we are all here for the main thing, which is some information. An image has been dropped about an hour ago, or probably earlier than that, but now it's hit the news, and now everybody's talking about it. So we gonna talk about it as well, because we need to expose the truth. And again, it's more than what you think. It's more than just showing the dynamics that were going on within this relationship. It exposes other things as well. We're going to get into it in just a minute. Can you do me a favor? Hit that like button down below. Some housekeeping. Hit that like button down below. Send it past 300 likes as you guys start to step into the conversation. Again, this is breaking news. I know Gabby Petito has not been at the tip of our tongues as of recently, but we must speak her name. We must get some justice for this young woman. Absolutely. And we have some information that's going to widen some eyes a little bit. Let's just say that. Okay? And not in a great way either. And not in a great way at all. Okay? And so after you do that, after you hit that like button and all that stuff, hit that subscribe button, please, and thank you. Crush that subscribe button. All right? We're marching towards 100,000 subscribers. We're in the 90s, baby. We're in the 90s, baby. So please hit that subscribe button to be greatly appreciated. And of course, it'd be amazing to have you part of the Pascal Show family. Anyway, we got to get into this story because I know a lot of us are here for this information and this information only. And of course, as we get more information, I promise you, I will talk about it, right? I saw this opened my eyes pretty quickly, and I said, I got to hop on. I want to chop it up with my family about this because I know a lot of y'all became subscribers or followers of my show during the time that I was talking about the Gabby Petito, Brian Laundrie tragedy, okay? The Gabby Petito tragedy, more like it, okay? Um, so, of course, I'm trying my best to stay on this story as much as I can when I catch wind of it, when it's fresh. If I catch wind of it and it's 5 days later, it feels odd telling you guys something that you've been already been known about it. You see what I'm saying? When other creators have talked about it 17 times over, I feel like I missed the bus on that one. So I try to catch up on the next one, right? So this one, I am on top of it. I was on way ahead of time with the bus, and we about to get on this bus and ride together. But before we go into that, Joshua Trailer, thank you so much for becoming a member. I really do appreciate your support. Thank you so very much. And just like Joshua, you can hit that join button down below if you feel like supporting the channel a little bit more than just being a subscriber or commenting or hitting that like button, even though those are great as well. Okay, that's still support. If you feel like helping this man keep his lights on and all that stuff, please hit that join button down below and consider becoming a family member, all right? Anyway, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this, okay? There's been new information or an image that has been released of Gabby Petito. And let me make sure I have this up and ready to go for everyone to see. Because it's in the thumbnail. You see it in the thumbnail, but we're going to see it as a full family. Okay? In full frame. The family, the Petito Schmidt family, decided to release a photo that was taken of Petito by Gabby Petito. And this was allegedly moments before the infamous Moab police traffic stop body cam footage that we've all seen. Okay? So I want to show you guys this photo because I think it says a lot. And let me say this too, T-dubs to everybody, TW, okay? T-dubs, trigger warner, all that stuff, okay? No person should ever look like this. Mind you, you see this photo right here. This was allegedly, moments before the infamous traffic stop that we all know. The infamous traffic stop that we all know. Here it is. Don't worry, I'm going to pull the photo back up again. But I just wanted to point out, just want to point out, moments before she got pulled over, or they both got pulled over, they put her in the back of the squad car. She had this on her face. Now, I just want you guys to see that. I want that to sink in a little bit. Okay? And of course, let's keep it real. We've seen the worst of the worst and the minor of the minor. This is not a great photo. This is not great seeing this on her face. Moments before, Moab police pulled them over and had a dialogue with both of them separated. And yet she still ended up being the one who was blamed for the whole doggone thing. Interesting, right? He became the victim. She became the assailant. Yet they pulled them over. Like I said, there's so much to dissect in this situation. I'm going to take this down because I know that's not great to see the whole time, okay? But that's the harsh reality of the world that we live in, all right? That's the harsh reality of what the world she was living in as well. This was a young woman, obviously in a very, very toxic relationship with violence that was integrated into the language of their relationship, whether it was him doing violence or vice versa, or if they were hurting each other, regardless, DV is not acceptable in any relationship whatsoever. Period, point blank. Now she gets pulled over. They both get pulled over because somebody saw 911 call was made because they saw something going on. There was a physical altercation going on inside the car. 911 was called. You know for a fact, no one's just going to go and call 911. I mean, let's just say cool, calm, and collected thinking people are not going to just call 911 because two people are in a car driving, right? Unless, they have probable cause, right? Like they were stealing the car or something, right? But this person went out of their way to call 911 to say that there was a physical altercation going on inside the van. That obviously tells you something's up. Something's not right, right? Now, again, that photo that you just saw, and of course, it's going to be in the article that I'm going to be showing you guys here in just a second. But as you can see, obviously something bad must have happened, bad enough for someone to actually pick up their phone and dial 911 and say, two people are going after each other inside of this van. I don't know what's going on, so on and so forth. And yet Moab police still pulls them over and basically lets them go. You're telling me, I'm not going to show you guys the imagery. You saw it in the beginning. What's done is done. You're going to see it in this article here too. But you're telling me that law enforcement could have seen that on her face and they still did nothing? They still did nothing? It exposes more than just what the few moments before getting pulled over and all that stuff was like for her and what kind of relationship they had already, which is heartbreaking enough. But what's even more disturbing is that multiple cars filled with cops pulled this couple over and yet still let them go without any concern about the well-being of either person in this relationship. But then again, when you see a photo like that, what does that tell you? What does it say to you? And you know what? I just saw somebody say, well, if she hit him first, let me just say this really quick. Regardless, whoever threw the first punch, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you need to keep your hands to yourselves. Period. Okay? It could very well have been. Let's play that. Let's play that scenario for a second. This could very well have been both of them at wit's end, angry as hell, just going off on each other. Both of them are in the wrong if they put hands on each other in the first place. All right? Let me just say that. But I'm talking about this photo alone says quite a bit. Says quite a bit. In fact, it almost seems as if what she was saying when they pulled her over was almost like she was defending and trying to protect Brian. Because if you see the photo, it looks like he put his hands on her. More than just grabbing her face. As she says, if you recall, the body cam footage. But this has nothing to do with that. If you're looking at just the photo itself alone, it screams. It screams that something wrong was going on. It shows proof positive that Brian Laundrie had his hands on her. Period. And that should have never happened. Why? Keep your hands to yourself. That's why. You keep your hands to yourself. Yet, police didn't do anything. Police did not do anything. They blamed her and gave him the pass. He played dumb. He was all smiley and stuff. And she admitted to doing certain things. But they both put hands on each other. Okay? There was an altercation. Now, I'm not justifying any of those sides. All I'm saying is you see the footage, you see the photo, that tells you something else. That tells you that this man, this piece of work, did some terrible things in that car to her. And somebody was in that driving by or whatever, had an eye shot of seeing what had happened, called the cops, they pulled them over, and you're telling me that this that was on her face wasn't on her face? They didn't see a speck of red on her face? They didn't see her face was already red and all that from the altercation? And yet they still sided with Brian Laundrie. And my mind is blown, y'all. My mind is still wrapping around this, going like, how does this happen? How did this happen? How? If she looked any way remotely like what she looked in that photo, which was allegedly shot moments before they were pulled over, and then she was brought into that squad car, they didn't see nothing. Yes, she was the bad guy. Makes no sense, guys. Makes no sense. Okay? Regardless, if this was a situation where she was the bad guy or he was the bad guy, whoever threw the first punch type of situation, there should not have been a situation where the outcome should have been different. That's all I'm trying to say. The outcome should have absolutely 110% been different. But they treated her in a completely different way, and they treated him in a completely different way as well. It made no sense. Okay? None. But let's take a look at this article here, this title here, which was the first one I saw. Gabby Petito's parents release her heartbreaking selfie of her face. I got to be careful with these code words, guys, okay? I got to use these code words, guys, unfortunately, all right? But a selfie of her face moments before tearful traffic stop with Brian Laundrie as they sue Utah cops for failing to protect her from this monster. Let me say this. When you saw that photo, and you know for a fact, because if you see in the photo, she is wearing the brown halter top shirt. I don't know girls' fashion names for shirts, but you know what I'm saying. It's the halter tank top that she was wearing. It's all the same scenario. The background is the same and all that. It's not like she took this 2 days later. She took it moments before she got pulled over, or they got pulled over, and we all saw the infamous body cam footage. So the way she looked, damn right the cops failed protecting her. She had red on her face and they did nothing, man. In fact, again, I'll repeat it again. I don't care if I sound like a broken record. I don't care if I sound like a broken record. I don't care if I sound like a broken record. But dag nabbit, they sided with this mother lover. She got all this on her face and they didn't say nothing. They just said, no, you're the bad guy, and he's the one. We need to save that. We need to save the boy. Save the boy. Make that make sense, y'all. See, I don't know about you, but I'm saying at the end of the day, I'm going, I don't care who threw what. We see what's on your face, sweetheart, and that's no good. And that's no bueno to begin with. So we need to separate you guys, period, point blank. There obviously is something going on in this situation where your face is red. Your face is all scratched up and you got red on your face, period. Zero tolerance on this type of situation. I don't care. At the end of the day, I don't care who threw the first punch. I don't. It's like school, right? You know, they do the most schools do the zero tolerance type of thing when it comes to violence. We don't care who threw what. We don't care. All we know is that there's zero tolerance on this campus. And in this situation, there's zero tolerance. And we see on her face that she is in trouble. And yet Moab police did nothing. They didn't do a god dog thing. Make that make sense. So this is the reason why. And I know some people are very upset about the Petito Schmidt family coming out and going for the Moab, Utah police. Okay? But I completely understand. I know it's the whole woulda, coulda, shoulda stuff. Okay? I fully get that. I get it. Okay? But there's still a situation that could have been where this young woman could have been saved. And remember, we've talked about this before we go into this article. Do you remember the body cam footage? Do you remember the body cam footage in the part where the cop literally went back into his squad car and he was going into his computer to do the Googles? Because they had a little powwow. All the cops, well, not all of them, but a good portion of the cops came together and they were just having like a little powwow, trying to figure out which option they had that required the least amount of paperwork. Verbatim. One of them's like, hey, it's up to you, man. This is your call. You're the leader on this one. You answer to this call, so on and so forth. We're just here. It just depends on how much paperwork you want to do. He goes, oh, yeah, you're right. He saunters back into his car, gets in there, starts going into his, computer, his little Moab police Google thing to check out what the law of what he could press or what he may not have to press, right? What can he do so that they can get off and he doesn't have to do as much paperwork? He looks his things up and then he gets out and he goes, you know what? We're just going to separate you guys for the night. That's what we're going to do. You cannot contact each other for the rest of the night. Do not text each other. Do not this, that, and the third. And then that's exactly what ended up happening. But that was only one night. And then, of course, we know the rest of what happened. Some people would sit there and go, hey, that's enough. That was enough. The police did what they had to do. Is it though? Is it though? Again, I'll sit here and say over and over and over again, there should be zero tolerance. Zero. On treatment. On any person, man or woman. Doesn't matter. There should be even more zero tolerance. When you have somebody who has that on their face of any kind, proof of scratches, bruises, blood, whatever it is, they should be looking to give and help that person, helping them seek salvation, not give them a place to lay their head down so they can go back to their hell all over again. And maybe the situation's worse, like what happened to young Petito. Let's get into this article. A selfie. Selfie taken by Gabby Petito shows her with a bruised face moments before police responded to a 911 call that said she'd been attacked by her boyfriend. The picture was shared by lawyers for Gabby's family, who are building a lawsuit against police in Moab, Utah. Gabby, 22, we already know this. Her life was taken by Laundrie in Wyoming during a road trip in the summer of 2021. The timestamp on the selfie shows it was taken at 4:37 p.m. on August 12th, 2021. Minutes later, a witness called 911 and said they had just seen Laundrie attack Gabby in a parking lot in Moab. And of course, we all seen this. Of course, we all know this is the photo that was taken, okay? That was taken at 4:37 p.m. Minutes later, 911 was called, and then they were pulled over. So then they were pulled over here. And this is the infamous photo, image that we saw. This is the image that we all saw. Again, this is the image that this is the body cam footage that we all witnessed. In fact, this is the first time I ever got hip to Gabby Petito. The first time I ever streamed about this, the first time I ever talked about this, the first time some of y'all even saw my show was this body cam footage. Because I knew nothing of this story until I watched this body cam footage. Because we were talking about her being missing, and no one knew where she was at the time. May she rest in peace, by the way. But we watched this together, and I'm like, why did they let both of them go? They left both of them go. Real talk. Zero dams. Just let it go. Oh, yeah, here's a warning. It's no big deal. Just another DV dispute between, lovers. No big deal. That's totally normal. No, it's not. It's not normal. And then here's the other footage. You remember Brian Laundrie? Smiling and all that. Just a quick trip down memory lane, y'all. Oh, and Roberta Laundrie, as I like to call her. But hey, and we all know a guy like this. Let's keep it real. We all know a couple guys or a couple people like this that will be all nice in your face, but then when the doors are closed, they're absolute monsters, right? To their loved ones. We know our fair share of people like that in the world. All right. But he was clearly putting on the charm, trying to be the nicest he could be, all that stuff. When clearly they have some serious issues that were going on in that van. And probably way before this. Okay? Sandwich that said they should have brought a woman out on the scene. I agree. But also on top of that, Sandwich, they should have taken the woman out of the scene too. Out completely, right? Have her call her parents, something. Get her butt back home, period, point blank. But there was, I will say this though too, but going back to what Sandwich said though, there was a female cop there. If my memory serves me correctly, there was a female cop there as well. But she wasn't running. She wasn't running point. The only time that we really saw her is when the cop that was running lead, I forget the names of the officers of this story, but when they were doing their little powwow, she was standing right there, that female cop. And she was just sitting there going, yeah, just nodding her head. The other guy was standing right next to her being like, yo, it's really up to you. It's really about the paperwork. If you want to do it, this, that, and the third, it's up to you with the paperwork, man. Paperwork. And that's when he went into the car and started going into his Moab police database Google search to see what he could and couldn't do within the laws of Moab, right? Within the laws of Utah, I guess, right? So there was a woman there. There was. Still, nothing happened. Okay? Maria just said, Paulina, why Dove? Why Dove? I guess that's one of the officers? Am I saying that? Am I right? Oh, that's that's somebody who's in the somebody chatting. My bad. I was like, is that what the officer's name is? Officer Paulina White Dove? No, Paulina White Dove is right here. Okay. Paulina White Dove, you're absolutely, now because I said your name, I had to pull this up, but you're absolutely right. This would be a completely different scenario, for sure. Completely different scenario. Okay. But as you can see, a situation like this, and yet we have two young individuals gone. Now, one thing really quick before we go into this article, I'm not going to sit here and say that the full reason why Gabby Petito is not here anymore is all because of the police, of Moab police. No. There could have been certain things to maybe stop this from happening, for sure. But if she stayed within this relationship, let's keep it real. Chances are the possibilities could have happened later. But at the same time, maybe it could have. I don't know. It's a lot of the woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? It's a lot of the woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's unfortunate that this thing went down the way it went down. We lost a beautiful soul, right? But at the same time, there were certain things that the police could have done to stop these certain things from happening. And this is what the problem is when it comes to DV victims in general, all throughout the country, throughout the world. There are a lot of situations where there are women and men that are screaming for help. It is in your face. They have bruises, cuts, etc., all visible signs of actual DV. They're in a volatile situation, in a volatile relationship. And then all of a sudden, they're standing in front of the people that are supposed to be there to protect and serve and save their lives. And what happens? Nothing. They're wink, wink, nudge, nudging and slapping the assailant on the back and going, this sounds like a little thing. You guys will be all right. Yeah. Just let him cool off. Let him walk a mile. And when he comes back, it'll be all right. Yeah, just let him go into the basement and play his Call of Duty. It'll be all right. Just give it a night. And guess what? A lot of times it just gets worse. Or it just maintains the same way. Nothing changes. Or the person loses their life. Because it's almost as if that whole thing just got the Band-Aid ripped off. Whole thing. Just rip the Band-Aid off. Let it go. Which is a Band-Aid on top of a bullet wound already. And some of these people who think that get away with it think that they can get away with it. So then they continue. And the violence gets worse. So hell yeah, there's a lot they could have done to save this young woman's life. This right here should have been enough to tell them, well, yeah, we should take her. No, we're not going to we're not going to press any charges. Fine, blah, blah, blah. But we going to figure it out. Okay? Maybe you can call your mom. Maybe you can call your dad. They can buy you a ticket and get your butt back home. No, don't go back to the Laundries. Okay? Go back to your mom. Go back to your dad. Go somewhere away from this man. Seek salvation, because salvation is not in the open arms of this violent individual. Period. Gabby has tears in her eyes and bloody red bruise around her eye. Attorneys for her family claim officers who responded to the incident ignored her injuries. They say the police's failure to take proper steps to protect Gabby contributed to her unaliving later that month. Gabby's family has also filed a $50 million wrongful death lawsuit against the Moab Police Department, alleging that the officers failed to properly handle the 911 call after a witness claimed he saw Laundrie. Let me just say that again. The caller claimed he saw Laundrie hitting Gabby and trying to steal her phone just weeks before her demise. The lawsuit names the department, two officers. Officer names the department, two officers who responded to the call, and two former leaders. Commenting after the release of the pictures, Brian Stewart at the law firm of Parker and McConkey said Moab police failed to listen to Gabby, failed to investigate the injuries and the seriousness of her assault, and failed to follow their own training policies and Utah law. Let me just say this again. Don't you notice that this seems to be like, you know that I ain't trying to knock all of 5-0, okay? I am not, okay? Not at all. We got some really great officers out here that do some amazing work, and yes, keep on trucking, baby, okay? You know what time it is. But at the same time, you keep doing that, y'all. But at the same time, there are a lot of officers that seem to brush things under the rug, right? Especially in moments like this. Huge moments. We just talked about Tyree Nichols, right? We just talked about that. We have the 6th police officer that has been fired. Great news, a step in the right direction, but it's not enough. He should be catching a charge as well, but I digress. You notice a lot of them, it's all about protecting and serving. Oh, knowing when to, step in when a cop isn't doing something right or is using excessive force on a unarmed young man in the middle of the street type situation. But then we look at this, and it's the same thing. They failed to investigate her injuries, the seriousness of her assault, and failed to follow their own training policies and Utah law. Do I need to say more? They failed to follow their own training. Remember what I said earlier again. They got into a powwow, and he was more concerned about paperwork than trying to save and protecting this young girl. And ain't training part of isn't paperwork part of the training? Ain't it though? Last I checked, paperwork is part of the training. Ain't that some? You know what I'm saying? Ain't that about a bee? And yet again, best and brightest, here to protect and serve. And lo and behold, we got another situation where we got a young girl basically scared out of her mind, trying to find refuge, and they don't even follow their own training policies. Even so, Utah law, again, he went into his database Google, his cop Google thing to search on what he could slap or allow for them to walk away so that he would not have as much paperwork on his desk. But the funny thing is instead of him being like, hey, I'm here to try to protect this young girl, instead of that, He was more concerned about the work. And that's insane, right? You got your locals paying your bills, giving you your paycheck. That is your job to do the paperwork. Yeah, he didn't want to do the paperwork. Interesting, right? Interesting indeed. And my heart goes out to Nicole Schmidt and Joseph Petito because they've been holding it down like crazy. I can only imagine what they've been going through. But one thing I find amazing about them is how they've turned Gabby Petito's passing into a huge ray of light. They are definitely the what's the word? They are definitely the living example of you making sure that her name and her death isn't in vain, that they're taking the negative and they're turning this into something really beautiful and really positive. The Gabby Petito Foundation, if you guys don't know about it, please by all means go and check it out. They are doing some amazing things, not only within that foundation, but outside of the foundation as well. They are doing everything they can to find other missing kids, especially missing persons of color. My Lord, the things that these two are doing right now as a team is pretty damn amazing, and I applaud them for what they have been doing. And damn right, they sue the pants off of every single person that's involved that failed this young woman, period. Law enforcement should have did what they were supposed to did, but they did not did what they were supposed to did. You feel me? Ridiculous. Let's continue. She also said, let me blow this up so you guys can see it better. She also said to the officers, Laundrie grabbed my face and gestures to show them how she was attacked. An officer said, "Did he slap your face or what?" Gabby replies, "He grabbed me with his nail. And I guess that's why it looks. I definitely have a cut right here. I can feel it. When I touch it, it burns." She even said it out loud, y'all. Police reportedly didn't pursue the matter further after Gabby said she struck Laundrie first. And what's crazy to me is that it was like they were trying to find any excuse. They were just trying to find that thing. And it's funny because this is all like back in the recesses of my mind, y'all. Okay. But I remembered them actually asking her a question, which was something along the lines of, hey, it was something, I don't remember the real question, but it was like they asked her something where it was like, now, if I ask you this and you say yes, I have to do X, Y, and Z. I have to arrest you, right? So tread lightly when you answer this question. When I ask you this question, you either say it like this or you say it like this. One leaves you out here free as a bird. The other one gets you locked up. I even remember that. My Lord. It was insane. JDR, thank you so much for the $4 Canadian dollars. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. But yeah. But what's interesting to me is she said he grabbed my face. He grabbed me with his nail. And I guess that's why it looks. I definitely have a cut right there. I can feel it. When I touch it, it burns. Right there. It's done. That should have been enough. That should have been enough, but it wasn't. Right? Strange brew, y'all. But that's the only time that they actually did anything after that is when she said that she hit him first. Utah code says any attempt to cover a victim's mouth or nose is defined as strangulation. which should be treated as aggravated assault. According to, this is what from the Salt Lake Tribune, that's what they reported. The officers instead treated the incident as disorderly conduct, and the couple were separated for the night, with Gabby staying in their van while Laundrie stayed in Moab. Laundrie shot him. Well, we already know about this. And of course, her remains were found at the Bridger Teton National Forest. Now, last year, the families came to a $3 million settlement in the Petito family's wrongful death lawsuit against Brian Laundrie's estate. In January, a Florida judge approved a request to add Laundrie's former attorney, Steve Bernalino, I called him Baloney Bertolino, to a lawsuit against his parents brought by Gabby's family. Now, Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt initially filed the lawsuit against Christopher and Roberta Laundrie earlier this year, claiming the couple knew that their son took the life of Gabby and refused to tell them the location of her remains. And I still think that Roberta and good old Christopher knew exactly where he left her remains, but just didn't want to say anything. And we saw this photo, but there they are, Christopher and Roberta, as I'd like to call her, Roberta. Okay? Indeed. Their lawsuit also accused the Laundries of trying to arrange a way for their son to flee the country, as well as accusing Baloney of knowing that Gabby was gone, unalived, when he made a statement about the search for her. On September 14th, 2021, Baloney Bertolino issued a statement on behalf of the Laundrie parents to the media at a time Gabby's parents say they knew Laundrie had taken her life. Baloney Bertolino said the Laundrie family hoped that the search for Miss Petito is successful and that Petito is reunited with her family, which is absolute BS, because obviously he probably been known what really happened to her and where she was. That's why I call him Baloney Bertolino. Pat Riley, who's representing Petito and Schmidt, said that the statement made by Baloney Bertolino is outrageous. The original lawsuit alleged that Laundrie's parents were aware that their son had unalived Gabby and were not being forthcoming. Yeah. A statement released last month by Petito's parents said when they did choose to speak, it was through statements issued by Stephen Baloney Bertolino. Laundrie left his parents' home on the 13th, and his remains were found in a park. I don't even know how to say that. Maya. You know what I'm saying. I can't say that. I feel like a jerk now. Mayakahachi? Something like that. Mayakahachi Creek Environmental Park. It's been a while since I said that word, okay? Creek Environmental Park in October. All right. Mayahaka. Y'all killing me. Mayahachi? Whichever. Mekalekahai, Mekahaini Ho. No disrespect. Mayakahachi, I think it's that, Creek Environmental Park in October, after weeks of futile searches in a temporarily flooded park. Of course, we already found him. They found him after the water levels receded, along with a handwritten confession and a revolver, which we still believe. I mean, in my personal opinion, Maya Kahachi. There we go. But I still believe that Petitos, or no, sorry, not Petitos, the Laundries knew exactly what the hell that they were going to do. They knew exactly what their plan was. They knew exactly that there was going to be a handwritten note. They knew everything. These two were plotting the entire time. As soon as that son came home, they took the time to plot. And I don't think it was Christopher. I know that sounds weird. I know everybody thinks that, it has their theories and all that, but I think Mama Bear, okay, Roberta, has everything to do with the plotting. Remember, there was a time when they believed that they mistook Brian Laundrie, or they mistook Roberta for Brian Laundrie at one time. I don't know. Like I said, there's so many things in this that don't make sense. Obviously, there's a letter that was written to Brian Laundrie, and on that letter, on the envelope of the letter, it basically said, "Burn after you read this." And in the letter, it was basically Roberta offering help to getting rid of the body. Period. Offering to give him a shovel, all this stuff to get rid of Gabby Petito's remains. That's absolutely insane. There is much more going on with Roberta than meets the eye. Okay? Period, point blank. But I digress. The main reason why I wanted to bring this up and talk about this is because we have people that are in our lives as we speak right now. Shoot. What the heck? Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Okay, I'm back. What I was basically trying to say is we have way too many people in our lives that we personally know, that either we are close to or we just know by acquaintance, that have had this kind of situation appear or present themselves before. We have plenty of people that we know or that we've seen from around the way sit there and say, "I need help," and have not even had anything remotely as graphic as this. Just basically turning to a friend and saying, "I need help. I need to get out of here." And we have this situation where this young woman, clearly this is a huge smoking gun, huge red flag, huge smoking gun, where the cops should have known. Their training should have kicked in, policies, God knows whatever else they said in what I said earlier, should have been implemented within this investigation of this traffic stop. They were answering to a DV call, basically. They had a 911 call say exactly as what? They pulled them over, and then they treated it like it wasn't that. And again, all because one particular cop, and maybe a group of all of them, just didn't want to put the work in and potentially save a young woman's life. Because it's not only just one cop's fault, it's all of their faults. The fact that they had a powwow, the fact that he was leaning in and trying to get the opinions of other people, friends and whatnot, about his colleagues, okay, about this. And his whole focus, all of their focus was on solely not having much paperwork at the end of the day. Period, point blank. That was their concern. That was totally their concern. And that is wrong. You have something where you see this young girl, and the outcome should have been different, in my personal opinion. Okay? Tanny just said, do you think his sister Cassie had to know as well? You know what? I think she was completely out in the dark. I'm going to be real. I think she was completely in the dark. I could be wrong, but my theories are kind of leaning towards she didn't know anything. I really don't think she knew anything. I think they kept this tight-lipped. They kept this between father and parents, or sorry, son and parents, and did not say anything to anyone else. Because I think that if Cassie knew, that would have been a whole other can of worms. I don't think she would have been okay with it either. I don't think she would just stand by and just let it be what it is. So I think she was actually telling the truth. When she was pulled out, of course, the mobs were out there trying to find justice for her, of course. And I think when she came out, I think that I think they didn't want her to know, because I think she would have blew the whole lid off that mother lover. I think. But that's just me. I don't know. To go in front of the camera and straight up lie like that is mind-blowing to me, y'all. You're lying to the world. Think about Cassie, who is, for all we know, has nothing to do with this. Okay? She just happens to be the sister. People are outside of your door, banging your door, making all kinds of noise, making your life a living hell. And instead of like telling the truth, you decided to straight up lie? I don't know. Because you're never going to live that down if the truth was to ever come out, to say that you lied. That would just be very, very tough. Because now not only are you ruining your life, you're ruining your husband's life, your kids' lives, all that. You're making your life a living hell. It's bad. But then I don't know. I don't know the dynamics within that house. I don't know the relationship of the parents with the kids. I don't know if she, you never know. Roberta might be the nicest, happiest, go lucky mother on the planet, or she could also be absolutely diabolical, where she's just going like this, rocking back and forth with her diabolical laugh. You know what I mean? Like, she could be in the darkness. Just that's her all night. I got to do my, mischievous, diabolical laugh before I go to bed properly. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't know. You see. So Cassie's a tough one to answer. Okay. But for a fact, Roberta and Chris most definitely had something to do with all of this. With this new information that just came out, this selfie screams so much to me. Not only that there was a real physical altercation that happened inside that car, inside that van, but also the incompetence of 5-0 and how they just wanted to go home, drink a cold one, instead of actually staying a little bit late at work to fill out some paperwork and possibly save this young woman's life. So I'm not surprised, and I'm totally with the Petito family for wanting to press them charges, okay? Let them press them charges, okay? Because that's exactly what they deserve. I'm telling you, it's exactly what Moab, Utah deserves. In fact, that does make me think of Kylan Schulte and Crystal Turner. Remember this group, this couple? Just real quick. They were lost in Moab, Utah. Utah around the same time. And what's crazy, both parties' lives crossed paths on one fateful night. And then guess what? Moab police did not do their due diligence. They barely went and searched for those two. The two young newlyweds did not look for them. A family friend had to go out and find them. So it does tell you quite a bit about Moab, Utah police and their lack of, their incompetence again. So I'm not surprised, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Schulte family ends up filing charges as well, suing Moab, Utah as well, Moab PD as well, because they didn't do anything at all to try to save those two young girls too. It's crazy. They have a lot of splaining to do. I will say that. Okay? But anyway, guys, I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really does mean a lot. Okay? I will be talking to you guys very, very soon. Okay? Don't forget to hit that like button down below, please. And thank you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that yet. It'd be great to have you a part of the Pascal Show family. Of course, do not be shy to go and hit that join button down below and become a member. That would be greatly appreciated. All right? But it is time to get going. I appreciate all y'all. Okay? Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys in the next show. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.